All right, peace, everybody. Peace, peace. I just want to start out by saying, anything I express on this channel, it's not like absolute or like facts or like, I'm not telling anybody how to live their life or, you don't have to go by what I say and stuff like that. It's just like, it's just a matter of perspective and subjectiveness. Like I'm just really trying to start expressing myself from a pure space. So yeah, so you can take it how it resonates and stuff like that. But yeah, I just want to talk about a few different things today. I just want to start out with like the importance of self-expression itself, and why that's important and stuff like that. So yeah, pretty much like I feel like it's super important to like express yourself because like when you get things out, not only does it feel good, like like on a deep level, but like deeper than that, I feel like like once you express yourself, you start like receiving more things, and it's like you start building more, like more confidence and more ideas and different things, and it's like you kind of show the universe like who you really are and what you're about and what you feel that you deserve and what you're capable of and what you're willing to do, like opening up and expressing yourself, not being scared to be yourself and stuff like that. And I feel like the universe will really start, reflecting that back to you, and bringing you more things, whether it's ideas, downloads, or just experiences, people in your life, or just the things that you need to grow in general. So yeah, I feel like that's super important because like it's like that thing go over real quick. But yeah, like I feel like downloads they can come in many different forms, whether it's like you're for me I feel like I'm pretty like clairaudient. So yeah, I feel like I'm pretty tapped into like certain spirits and stuff like that, and all these different voices in my head. And yeah, I'm very like I said, clairaudient. So I can like hear a lot of different things and stuff like that. So that's usually how I receive like downloads. Although I feel like I can receive them in multiple different ways, just like a lot of different people. Like I said, there's multiple different ways to receive downloads. They're not just like, some people may think like, oh, downloads are like, like you have to like something supernatural or something, and it is, but I'm just saying like from a standpoint of like something outside of you or something, or like, like you're gonna like, I don't know how really to explain that, but like, yeah, like I said, they come in many different forms. They can be in thoughts, like they can just stream down in thoughts. You can be like clairsentient, like through feelings, and maybe you can receive visions and stuff like that. Which, that has happened to me a few different times, and I think dreams. That's pretty big. Like, yeah, I have a moon in the 12th house, so yeah, my dreams are pretty wild and stuff like that, pretty lucid and vivid. So I feel like, yeah, if that's something that you can get tapped into, like, yeah, I think dreams are super important, and helping us guide us on our journey and stuff like that, and what they have to say and trying to decipher them. And I think it's pretty important to have a dream journal. But yeah, just like I was saying, like with the downloads, or just like creative thoughts or creative ideas and stuff, or all these different things that may stream into our consciousness. Like I feel like it's super important to like passionately act on these things, because it's like I see them like they'll find the person that they need to find, right? But it's like if you don't like accept them, or if you don't like passionately act on these downloads or ideas or whatever you're receiving, then they'll move on to the next person, because it's like the idea or whatever is not going to stay there for too long if you're not like doing anything with it, because yeah, like it's meant to be acted on, it's like it came to you for a reason, so it's like, yeah, if you don't actively act on it, then it's going to move on to the next person. Like I said, it's going to find somebody else, or somebody that's receptive to it, somebody that's going to act on it, like. So yeah, I feel like that's super important and stuff like that. It's like I said, when you start expressing yourself, you get things out. When you have all of these things in your head or all of these different things, it's like it just builds more clutter and clutter, and you're just constantly receiving things. But it's like if you don't start like putting these things out in whatever way that is for you, for me it's like for sure I want to start, like making videos like this and stuff like that. That's one thing. And I said if you feel called to do so, then I think you should do that as well. But there's many different forms of creative expression. It doesn't have to be creative expression necessarily, but I mean, I like to make music and stuff like that. So it's like that's something I definitely need to get back to because I kind of got off track, like. And yeah, I'm a double air sign, so it's like I can just be like all over the place, or especially Aquarius, they're like trying to be on to the next thing. I got to be like moving forward. What's new? What's new? What's new? But it's like if something is really working out for you, like you should really stick with that and put a lot of time and energy into that, instead of like it's like a computer, like having all these different tabs open, and it's like you got a certain amount of energy into all these different multiple tabs, but it's like that's cool, like yeah, being just anyone in general. You don't have to be air signs, but it's like if you're able to do all these different things with your mind, that's really cool and all, but it's like you're not really getting the most out of life, the most out of yourself, like yeah, you're just not really maxing out your capabilities and what you're able to do, what you can create and stuff like that. So yeah, it's super important. Like meditation is very important as well, like to really just like be one with yourself and kind of listen to yourself, to know yourself, to just get really in the moment and be just present, to not really worry about things like how are things gonna go and all of that. It's really just about, just being and yeah, really just being present, like and just knowing that things will come, not worried about how they will come and stuff like that, but yeah, just being in the proper state of being, to receive these things. It's all about, like yeah, the feeling behind these things are super important, because it's like you can put out a request or whatever, and it's like if you're not in the right state of being, or if it's like you don't feel worthy of that, or if like just act like you already have it, like be in that state of being, and it's like it's only a matter of time, like the universe, it'll bring it to you, no doubt. So yeah, like that's really why I feel like expressing yourself is super important, like and stuff like that, like but yeah, I feel like another thing is like like you really got to start feeling worthy of these things, like worthy of whatever it is that you can create, whatever it is you deserve. Because if you don't feel worthy, I feel like the universe, it's not really going to open up to you, or it's not going to put you on that path, because it's like it sees you're not, that's almost kind of saying you're not really ready for it, like an example can be like, because like I said, I like to make music and stuff like that. So like I guess that's kind of what got me off track. It's like you got to feel like you're worthy, or like you have to go through the trials and tribulations that you need to go to be that artist that you want to be, to be that artist that you can be, whatever it is in your life that you do, like, I'm just expressing myself from my perspective, but it's like whatever it is that you're going after, you got to feel worthy of it, like, because I just remember one day, like, like I was really going through a lot, and it's like I really started just changing up my mind, like you got to start change. Like I said, you really got to start feeling worthy, I just remember telling myself one day a lot, like, and it was maybe like the first time that I even had that, like that confidence in myself. But it was like, man, like I really pictured myself, like being on stage, and I was like, man, I know I can open up for certain people, or like you just got to start somewhere, like everybody, like as an artist, you probably got to start opening up for people. You ain't just go from 0 to 100, like that. So it's like, yeah, I feel like it's super important to start feeling worthy of these things. Because I just remember like how confident I was in myself, and how like I just really started changing up my mindset. And like why not me? Like maybe like that voice in your head. It kind of sounds like you. So maybe that's why like you let that voice like tell you all kind of different things. Because like I said, that voice in your head, it sounds just like you, so it's like, and that's part of the game. That's the part of how these certain spirits that are trying to get you off track fool you, because it's like you're not going to let somebody outside of you talk to you like that, so it's like, why do you let yourself talk to you like that? I had to ask myself that, and I was like, maybe it is because it sounds like me, so you really just got to start changing that up, like, yeah, that voice sounds like me, but that voice ain't my friend though, because it's like nobody that I really resonate with, like on a soul level, or just my higher self. Like my higher self it's not gonna talk to me like that, like it's never gonna talk to me like that, I could just look back like when I was a kid, I was super tapped into like a lot of different things, you know, but mainly like I feel like kids in general, like they know who they are, you know, like it's not about like me feeling like I'm special. Like everybody's, you know, everybody's special, you know, like everybody has these capabilities and stuff, you know, like certainly as kids, it's like we came here, we know exactly who we are, you know, we're in our power at that time, you know, like we're connected to our higher selves, our chakras, and all type of different things. So it's like, yeah, you know, I could just look back and see like I was on the right track. The voices in my head were like, yeah, they were leading me down the right path. They were telling me things, hyping me up, and yeah, you know, just putting me in the right state of beings that I needed to be in to receive the best things in my life, you know, to get the most out of life. And you know, as we grow older and go through all these different things through the system and build all these filters and perceptions and you know, start putting all these different programs in our heads and you know, dealing with other people and you know, mixing our waters with other people's waters and whatever they have going on and all these different things, you know, and it's like we just start building up like all of this other perception of who we are, how life's supposed to be, and you know, all this different clutter and stuff, and just throws our whole system off, you know, like so yeah, it's super important to like heal yourself and just to clean up, you know, clean up your mental garden and stuff like that, because there's a lot of things going on in there that just need to be plucked, and you know, we need to start putting in new programs, and like I said, if it's the, you know, like all these programs, you know, start whatever programs you need, you know, like confidence programs, you know, self-worth programs, you know, like yeah, you know, and it takes practice, you know, it comes with time, you know, just like building these like spiritual skills, you know, like you can't just like start tapping into certain things, you know, just like that, like I said, yeah, I feel like I'm super clairaudient, but it's like it's not on a level that's like I know it can be, you know. So you got to start like building these skills, you know. They're there, but it's like you just got to start building them. It's not necessarily like use it or lose it, because it's like I feel like they're always gonna be there, you know. But it's like it is in a sense of like it's as good as not having it, you know, if you're not like building these skills or if you're not like cultivating what you know you have, you know. So yeah, I know like this is pretty like all over the place and stuff like that, but yeah, you know, I hope it helps somebody in some type of way. I know it's gonna help me in a lot of different ways, you know. To really start believing in myself, to start doing the things that I know I can do. I know I should have started putting out videos a lot sooner than this, you know. I know I have a lot of things that I can talk about. And yeah, you know, like just stop listening to all those voices in your head. Like, you know, I've always been big on like, man, there's so many people making videos, or, you know, I watch Dolo, you know, and he's like one of the, I feel like he's on this a real high level, you know, because it's like I've been on this spiritual journey for a while, you know, and it's like I went through a lot of different teachers, a lot of different things, you know, like, and I'm very grateful for it all. You know, I found a lot of good teachers, you know, and a lot of bad teachers, you know, that taught me a lot about discernment and just like a lot of about like, you know, like just people trying to manipulate people just to for their own selfish desires or whatever, you know. So yeah, you know, I feel like yeah, when I found Dolo, that was like for sure. I feel like we resonated on a soul level, you know, and I feel like he's a pretty pure soul, you know, and it's like he has the right intentions, you know, and stuff like that. So yeah, I resonated with him heavy, and I feel like his knowledge is like it's on a super high level, you know, and I feel like he's super ahead of his time and stuff like that. Because it's like I look at all the knowledge he has, and it's like I could look back at all of the teachers that I've went through, and it's like yeah, those teachers were on high levels, you know, of consciousness, or their spirits were very powerful and stuff, you know. And I'm just like, man, like he's been saying this stuff like for years now, you know, and it's like they're just starting to come into like some of the things that he has been preaching for a while now, you know, and I'm just like, man, he's just super ahead of his time, you know. So it's like, and I feel like, you know, a lot of people that watch his videos, I'm like, man, like he's already said like almost everything that needs to be said. So it's like, why do I need to be putting out videos, or like what do I have to say, you know? Or it's like, you know, what is my knowledge, you know, compared to all of that, you know? It's like, but yeah, you know, I feel like everybody has something to offer, you know. You just got to start being yourself, expressing yourself however it is, you know, just knowing you're at, you know, wherever you're at in your journey, it's like that's where you're at, you know. That doesn't mean that's the end all be all, you know. It's like we're all on this path together. We're all trying to grow. We're all where we're at, you know. I don't judge anybody for where they're at, you know. Like I said, we're all at different levels and stuff, you know. I'm big on just like understanding, you know. Like I feel like I'm super understanding, you know. And it's like I'm not trying to use that word and like, you know, I know I'm, you know, like the whole overstanding and understanding, you know. But I'm just, you know, I hope you get where I'm coming from with that, you know. Like I just try to yeah, just see where people are coming from. I try to meet them on their level, you know, and like I said, I don't judge and stuff like that, you know. So that's basically what I'm really trying to say and stuff like that. So yeah, you know, I'm really trying to start, you know, do a lot more different things. Like I'm really getting into like numerology, and like I'm really gonna start studying that and stuff like that. So I hope that I can like start putting a lot of like numerology stuff, metaphysics, and stuff about astrology, and just stuff about life experiences, and just stuff that I know I can share on and stuff like that. Just really start expressing myself and helping people out in the ways that I know I can help somebody out, you know, whether it's anyone, you know, one person, myself, or whoever, you know. So yeah, I appreciate you guys for listening. Stay tuned, you know. Peace, peace.